Hello friends and welcome back to my channel. I'm reading for lovely Libras for Monday. So when the reading finds you, it's that you're reading at that time. Take it intuitively. If it rings true, it's your reading. If it doesn't sound like it's you, it's not your reading. Try a different one. So last week I was guided to kind of do these dragon messages, these kind of healing messages, until Virgo, when the energy kind of flipped to the fairies, and the fairies are kind of back in your reading, and I'll explain why. When I first started tuning into your energy, it was just this feeling of like, ugh. It was like, it's coming in with this energy of this isn't it. This didn't work out. This wasn't what I thought it was going to be. It's not what I wanted. The song played by U2, I still haven't found what I'm looking for. So it's got this energy of like you having some sort of dream, or looking, that kind of Eight of Cups energy where there's something missing. It's like I know there's something missing. I've got this feeling like there's something I should be doing, or there's some kind of purpose, or it's just like nothing's quite satisfying that thing within that missing cup. So I don't know if you've, for those of you who are dating, this is you, thinking that you found the one, and then, oh no, actually they're not quite what you thought they were going to be. And that's up to you whether you kind of keep going with that relationship and see if you can learn to love that person's flaws. But sometimes it's like, this isn't the chemistry's not here, this isn't it, and that's the way it is sometimes. So for some of you it's dating, for others of you it could be like a certain job. This happened to me with teacher training. I really thought, this is it, this is what I want to do. I love working with kids, I'm actually quite good at like teaching them things, and then I kind of got a bit through kind of the experience I was gathering. I mean, the teachers were amazing, the school was amazing, but there was stuff in there that I'm not going to go into, but it kind of put me off, and I thought, I don't really think this is right for me. As much as I like teaching, there was a lot of like loopholes and like side nonsense, rather than just like directly teaching and working with the children. So it's like kind of energy of like, maybe you've tried different jobs, and it's like, maybe you did a degree and went into a certain career, it was like a 7-year plan or something, and you got there and you're like, I hate it, this isn't it, this isn't what I want to be doing. So however it works out for you, it could just be you went and got a certain chocolate from the shop and came home and you were like, yeah, that's not really what I wanted. It could be on a smaller scale, but it's just coming in with this disappointed energy, disappointed, but you're not giving up. You've got this energy of, that wasn't it, so I'm going to keep looking, right? I'm going to keep trying. So you've got this kind of, I went for the phrase picking yourself up by the bootstraps, but then I was shown pigtails. So it was like picking yourself up by your own pigtails, right? So it's like being your own parent or something like that is how it's coming in, parenting yourself. And it came in with Pippi Longstocking. Now, I don't know how familiar Pippi Longstocking will be to everybody. I remember whenever I had pigtails, like, I don't know if it was my mum or my grandma, but somebody calling me Pippi Longstockings because I had the pigtails in. But I kind of googled it and looked up Pippi. Oh, just to say as well, while I'm grabbing my phone, it was 11:11 when I started the reading. So when I turned my phone on to start the reading, it was 11:11. So that could be quite meaningful to some of you as well, especially those of you looking for love, right? So Pippi Longstockings, it was a Swedish author, Astrid Lindgren. Pippi was named by Lindgren's daughter Karin, with an I, who asked her mother for a get well story when she was off school. Pippi is this is from Wikipedia, by the way. Pippi is a redhead, freckled, unconventional and superhumanly strong, able to lift her own horse one-handed. She is playful and unpredictable. She often makes fun of unreasonable adults, especially if they are pompous and condescending. Her anger comes out in extreme cases, such as when a man mistreats his horse. So she's a bit like Peter Pan, it says. She doesn't want to grow up. She has a wild imagination, tells lots of adventure stories. She tends to stretch the truth a little bit. So it made me think of my own children. My daughter, who's Sagittarius, who is a bit of a Pippi Longstockings character. Very, she will tell you if she's not happy. She's very fun, she's very spontaneous, she's very, very quirky. does not respect authority if that authority doesn't make sense. That's a very Sagittarian thing. It's like, so I don't know if this is talking about your own children, Libra, or you as a child, or just something about your personality. So however it resonates, I don't know why it's come through for you. I'm just relaying the messages, right? So yeah, so that I think the thing about making fun of unreasonable adults, especially if they're pompous and condescending, is this thing about not being impressed by status and not necessarily following the rules if the rules don't make sense. So it's like, it has to make sense. So if there's some kind of rule or some kind of I don't know, custom that, you know, your community's adopting, or, you know, just something that everybody says is what's right, you're very questioning of that, I want to say, or somebody around you is. It's like, why is that right? Why is that the way we do this thing? Explain it to me. No, that doesn't make sense. So there's a brilliant quote of her where, of this kind of being quite quirky, thinking out of the box, and also being quite socially defiant, where she's walking up the street with two of her friends, and there's a sign in the shop window, and it says ointment to if you're like bothered by freckles or something like that. It's like, if freckles are a nuisance, get this ointment. And she's like, explain that to me. And they tell her what the sign says, and she says no, and she goes into the shop and she says to the woman, no. And she was like, what do you mean? And she was like, no, I'm not bothered by my freckles. And she's like, and the woman laughs and says, but your face is full of freckles. And she says, yeah, I'm not bothered by them. I like my freckles. So if you get a cream that gives you more freckles, I'll buy that. So there's this thing about like, you know, not caring about beauty standards, but loving yourself, right? You know, loving the things, loving the parts of you that other people may not appreciate. So it's this redefinition of, it's almost like breaking the mold energy, right? It's like, why shouldn't I like my freckles? Explain that to me. Like, you know, not being impressed by social convention. So I really, really like that. And let's think about as well about, you know, sometimes you can have like teachers or people in a position of authority where the rules don't make sense. It's just part of that person being quite draconian, you know, being on a bit of a power trip, or, you know, following a rule that perhaps doesn't fit the circumstances anymore as, you know, the situation has progressed. So it's coming through this energy of like, well, that doesn't make sense, so I'm going to challenge it. So I like that energy, and it is quite Sagittarian. It is sort of doesn't make me think about my daughter. And then being quite angry when, you know, the horse is mistreated, or when her friends are bullied, you know, that's when she gets really quite, loses her temper. Now I've got a Sagittarius Mars placement, and Mars is about your anger, and that kind of unfairness or cruelty is definitely a big trigger for me. So again, like, I can relate to that. So however you relate to that is right for you, right? But then I think about like being a little bit like a Peter Pan character, like forever young, forever daydreaming, believing in the fairy tales. So there's something coming through for you about like romance as well. So you actually got all the romance languages. As I was kind of getting ready for your reading, I saw an advert that was for Chanel with a French song. There was something Italian. I think I had an Italian song playing, and then, oh yeah, it was advertising an Italian beer, and then the Crazy played by Madonna, and she speaks in Portuguese in that. So there's something about European romance languages coming through. I'm learning Italian on Duolingo, so it makes sense to me again. It's not a personal reading, I don't know, it's something for somebody. But with this romance language, right, the word romance, it's like wanting the fairy tale romance, wanting the dream life, wanting what we were sold by Disney, you know, in those kind of like romanticized movies or romanticized books. You know, it's like, well, why can't we have that? Explain it to me. You know, that quote's coming to mind, put away childish things. It's like, well, why should we do that? Why should we become jaded adults that I don't know if you're dealing with a Pisces as well, which I'll get to in a minute, because it's very Pisces energy. It's like, why should I settle? Why should I not aim for the fairy tale? Why shouldn't I aim for the romantic life? You know, so Libra and Pisces do have this tendency to put the rose tinted glasses on, especially if you have Venus placements. It's like, romanticizing your life. Now, I think there's a positivity to it, and I've seen people on TikTok and YouTube who are actively doing this. It's like, how do I romanticize my life? So it's like, don't have breakfast, have morning tea, you know, serve your tea on, you know, go to a charity shop and get some like old-fashioned crockery, like a little teapot, and, you know, instead of having your breakfast in front of the TV, have it at your window and watch the birds in the garden. So it's like, live every moment in your life as if you're the star of your own movie. And don't be ashamed of that. Hold on to that dreamlike quality, because it's kind of what makes life worth living. It's when the romance is gone, when the hope is gone, when the dreams are gone, and you're just left with the mundane. There's a brilliance to being grounded, right? There's a brilliance to living in the moment. There's a brilliance to being practical and doing what needs to be done. But if you don't have that, the hopes and the dreams, then you're just really, it's just very boring. It's just very boring. It's kind of like, what's the point? What's the point of washing dishes every day or doing laundry every day other than having a clean house? And what is the point of having a clean house? You know, really, it's just, you know, a social standard. I mean, obviously there's other benefits, but it's because you're told that's what you do. So what if I want to have a messy house? What if I want to have a messy house and spend an hour in the bath dreaming of a beautiful life? I don't know. I think it's something about how you spend your time and the point. Okay, so maybe that's what it is. It's like you're looking for the point. You're looking for the reason to exist, the reason to keep moving forward. Not in a kind of nihilistic way or a depressive way, just I'm going to keep looking. It's got to be out there somewhere. So that kind of Pisces energy, Pisces, because Pisces is such a dreamer, right? They're ruled by, is it Uranus? I get Uranus and Neptune mixed up. But it's like they're guided by this dreamlike energy of living in a fairy tale, living in a fantasy world. So it's like reality is viewed through this rose-tinted lens of kind of like, where's the magic in life? But this means that Pisces is prone to what some people would call lying, you know, telling things that are untrue. But to Pisces, it's almost like Pisces tend to not realize that they're lying. They're not really, to them it's not a lie. To them it's their romanticized view of the situation. You know, it's the ideal, it's the dream that's happening in their head, which is very true to them. So again, maybe, like I said, my daughter and my son are Sagittarius and Pisces, so this could definitely be something about your own children. I'm not sure, but there was a couple of other things I wanted to grab from that Pippi Longstockings things. So there could be something about how you were raised as a child, or how your children are being raised, where it came through for Leo a bit, where it was talking about absent parents. It's funny as well, because Awakening to Spirit put her Libra reading up last night, and again it had this kind of absent parent, raising yourself, parenting yourself thing, which I just got for Leo like the day. So I did my Leo reading, her reading went up, and now I'm getting it again for Libra. So it seems to be a common theme. So I think some of you did have to, perhaps your parents were very busy at work. Perhaps you had a parent who, you know, was not in your situation. You know, they weren't present and there. And there's different ways of being present. It could be that the person was there, but they were emotionally distant. So it's like, again, there's that kind of missing piece energy of missing something and trying to fill it with something else. And for some of you, you could be filling it with your own imagined story of what your life is or was. So people don't believe Pippi as well. This is a thing. People don't believe Pippi that that her father's this adventuring sea captain. They think she's just telling herself a lie to comfort herself. But in the end of the movie, I remember her dad shows up, you know, so, and he's dressed like a sea captain. So it's like she wasn't lying about that. So there's also something about not being believed as well, I think. According to Eva Maria Metcalf, Pippi loves her freckles and her tattered clothes. She makes not the slightest attempt to suppress her wild imagination or adopt good manners. Yeah, Pippi has a penchant for storytelling, which takes the form of tall tales. Pippi uses non-violence to solve conflicts or protect other children from bullying. Pippi has been variously described by literary critics as warm-hearted, compassionate, kind, clever, generous, playful, and witty to the point of besting adult characters in conversation. Pippi's naturalness entails selfishness, ignorance, and a marked propensity to lie, but the character is simultaneously generous, quick-wise, and true to herself and others. So this true to yourself, like being authentically you, but also part of being authentically you, or a person that you're dealing with, is allowing this room for imagination and tall tales. I want to say, you know, living the romance life. Because why would you take that away from somebody? If that makes somebody happy, why would you take it away from them? So we've got the mermaids and the fairies for you. So going a little bit freestyle with your reading. We'll see what comes out. So yeah, just with, sorry, I've got a little bit of mud on the surface. I've been potting avocado seeds. So there's a bit of mud around. But the song Crazy by Madonna, not Crazy for You, it's a different song. Crazy, she says, I put you on a pedestal, but statues, they can fall. So I don't know if you have had a situation, I may have misspelled pedestal. I don't know if you have had people on a pedestal, or had some kind of situation up on a pedestal, like it was your ideal, it was your dream, but it's disappointed you, right? I'm actually just going to pause for a second, sorry, and just make sure I'm properly tuned in, because I feel a bit scattered, and I'll be back with you in a second. Okay, so as I was tuning in, they were also showing me, with the pigtails, they were also showing me Dorothy from Wizard of Oz. And of course, the actress, I can't remember which Julie it was one of the Julies. She was a mature woman playing a little girl. So I don't know if you have this kind of mercurial little girl quality to you, shared with kind of like sometimes Virgo and also Pisces. This kind of Peter Pan quality. But they keep showing me the pumpkin. Now, it's kind of changing between the original pumpkin from Wizard of Oz and the pumpkin character from Return to Oz. And of course, you know, there is a question mark hanging over those two films where it's, was it real? Was it real, or was it part of her own comfort system, her own... her mind kind of telling her a story to soften the blow, or to protect her from quite difficult situations or surroundings. So again, that could go back to your childhood. You know, perhaps there were difficult situations going on in your childhood, and you developed a strong imagination to cope with that. I remember having... I remember doing a reading on that, a very similar message coming through in a reading. I can't remember the reading exactly now, but I remember telling one of my friends about it. So I may be able to check for that link and track down that reading. But it had a similar thing of somebody who perhaps, yeah, grew up in difficult circumstances, but developed this strong imagination to cope with the circumstances. So again, with this kind of the playing forever young, I want to be forever young. But there is something quite special about that, because it does make these kind of characters, these kind of people, quite different from the rest of society, you know, and it allows them to tap into that creative energy that perhaps people who are, you know, very practical, very grounded, very sensible, perhaps they don't have that kind of magical, creative mind that can be very useful for people who work in creative fields, like you know, like film or script writing or songwriting or you know, storytelling, and even working with children. When you have that kind of forever young quality, it makes you quite good at connecting with children as well. So what do we have for Libra, please? Libra long stockings. What do we have for Libra long stockings, please? Hidden depths. This is you, I feel, immediately. It's like your hidden depths, right? Your hidden potential. Something hidden is about to come to light. Perhaps a secret or a memory at the back of your mind. When we expose what's hidden, we can become free. So I definitely feel like there's something, a memory that you've kind of painted over. It's funny, I had this painting over thing in somebody else's reading. I can't for the life of me remember who. I want to say Cancer, but I'm not sure. Where it was like um, they're telling me an ugly painting underneath. So painting over it in watercolor. It's like an oil painting that had been painted over in watercolor, but then it was washed off and revealed the picture underneath. So they're telling me it's like what I'm getting is that there's some kind of bad memory that you've blocked out, and you've told yourself a story. So you've got this kind of rose tinted lens over a memory, and there's something about seeing it clearly or it coming back to you. So I don't know whether this is going to be unwanted, it's going to be like a flashback, or maybe a conversation with somebody where they've got a different memory of what happened than what you have, and it triggers something, or whether it's just you looking back at your own past and thinking, oh, actually I see it clearly now. I've got that kind of, I can see clearly now, the rain has gone. Hidden depths, a secret about to be revealed. You did have, in a reading that I didn't post, you did have this thing about the whale coming up from under the surface. Now the whales talk to me about a deep dive, like deep soul searching, going within, like that kind of hermit energy, but also of when they come up, it's like a big secret being revealed, and it was getting like untrapped. So it was coming through with this unconditional love energy. So it's interesting. I don't know, I think there's some part of yourself that you've kept hidden or you've suppressed that really needs to come up and be explored. It's probably a romantic part of yourself. Now it doesn't mean you're necessarily going to go bed hopping or anything like that. It's like, it's more, when I say romance, I'm not necessarily talking about flirting or dating. I'm more talking about the old-fashioned way of using the word romance, which is more of it has this connotation of like adventure and like fantasy and magic to it. It's like exploring the unknown. So wanting that kind of storybook life, those kind of storybook experiences. It's like you want those experiences where you can look back and think that'd make a great book, that'd make a great novel, that'd make a great TV show, and wanting to get out of the mundane. So I don't know if some of you have been parents or are parents, and you're finding the kind of day-to-day, the mundane, very suffocating right now, or very extremely boring. I mean, I always do. Like when I first had my children, especially my daughter, because I've got Mars in Sagittarius, which is a very squirrel placement. It's very very focused and excited about the new thing, but then you get bored and kind of move on to the next thing. So I know when my daughter was very young, everything was very new. I was very excited. I was a very enthusiastic parent, and now she's a little bit more independent. I'm a little bit like, oh, now I'm just stuck here washing the pots and making dinner. I mean, not so much anymore, but like there was definitely a phase where I just was like, I'm just mum now, and I'm bored. Like I want to be me. So yeah, like feeling quite stuck, feeling quite it's just like suffocated and wanting to get out. Abundance and music. Now I've been getting a specific line from a specific song, and I think this might be the first reading I've mentioned it, and it could have just popped up briefly in somebody else. I feel like it could have come through in Cappy, but there's this thing, it's a line from a Lana Del Rey song. It says, "You've got the music in you," and I found it in an older song. Now I didn't make a note of it, I can't quite think which song it was now. You've got the music in you. It was like she'd pulled it from an old song. It's not coming back to me, but I'm getting it's all coming back to me now, which is a Celine Dion song, I think. There were moments of gold, there's something about gold, and there were flashes of light. Something I wouldn't do it again, but then it always feels right. I don't know if this is like a past life memory or a memory from childhood. It's something's coming back. You're remembering something, Libra. And then this, you've got the music in you. I don't know if it is talking about your imagination, or that missing piece energy. You remember the reading about the golden string? like finding the right note, finding the right chord. It's, you know, something striking a chord with you, or and it can be, sometimes it can be a piece of music that brings back a certain memory. I know when I was shopping one day in the supermarket and Simply the Best played, it reminded me of my granddad, and suddenly I was filled with the emotions and of the grief, and, you know, happy memories and grief kind of mingled, and I was crying in the supermarket because of this song. It was my granddad's favourite song. So it does feel like it's going to be like a song that like triggers this memory for you, or perhaps you remember a song. There's something, definitely something about old music. Again, that line in that Lana Del Rey song, which is a modern song, it was, I found it in an older song, the same line, you've got the music in you. Prepare yourself for incoming abundance. Release any mental blocks that you may have. In fairyland and human land, there is enough abundance for everyone. Now, if you go back to the Tell Me Anything reading with the dragon in it, it was coming through this message of this thing coming up from underneath, right? This deep, like almost like an archaic archaic force, like an archetypal force, or the personification of what turned out to be a very powerful love energy. It was like the power of unconditional love as a personification, right? And it was shown to me with this kind of lily pad energy. And there was like, it was like a beach, it was lily pads, it was thunder, it was lightning, it was volcanoes, it was waves, it was like just force. So prepare yourself for incoming abundance. Release any mental blocks you may have. That feels like something, almost like you blocking out a memory, right? Or you refusing to look at something. In fairyland and human land, there is always enough abundance for everyone. Listen carefully, like that's like the abundant universe will provide, right? Music, listen carefully, for there may be a message in the music you hear. Music can lift your soul, rekindle memories, and charm fairies to your door. Exactly, rekindle memories. I'm just having a closer look at these cards. I'm getting two things. One thing I'm getting is that this person's almost like the conductor. She's got her hand raised, and then it's almost like she's leading the orchestra, she's orchestrating, right? I'm getting like orchestrating events. So you could be orchestrating something, but she's got a stick in her hand here as well. So another way I can read it is like they're playing this music, which is putting this kind of like, see this glittery energy into the air, and it's coming through to, I want to say this is you, with all this like petal energy. It's like they're creating this song that you're hearing, you're receiving it, and it's like you, it's almost like you're being called, it's almost like the judgment card in the tarot, like you're being called to join them, right? Because you have this stick too, but you don't know how to use it. Now it's coming through as like a lewd thing, but it's like you're part of this team, you're part of this, could be talking like star seeds, right? Or soul group, soul family. It's almost like you're being called to join this dance, I want to say. It's like, because you have, it's like you, if somebody is some kind of like orphan or something, it's like you're being called back to, it could talk about being orphaned from your soul family, but it's like, it does feel like kind of like ugly duckling energy as well. It's like you don't fit in where you are because you're not meant to be there. It's like maybe you saw yourself as like the outcast, the ugly duckling, like that Pippi Longstockings, right? Didn't fit in, very, very awkward, very unusual, but it's like there was nothing wrong with her. But here it's like you're almost going to, you're actually part of something else, right? You're just in the wrong, you're like, it's like you're offset, or you're, here is set aside. It's not quite what I was going for, but here is set aside. It's like you should be here. It's like there's nothing wrong with where you are either. Like where you are is, you have a lot of abundance, you know? So maybe you're calling these people to you. You're saying, no, this is where you need to be. This is, you know, it's almost like, look what I have here, look at all this, because the lotus flower, especially for you Libra, is like unconditional love. It's like, no, come to me, I have the abundance, I have the love, I have the secret, I know what we have to do with you know, come and join me, let me comfort you. So this could be like children, right? You're calling, like the Pied Piper, but in a less creepy way. It's like you're maybe fostering or adopting. It's like, or you're just taking in these kind of like waifs and strays. I kind of mentioned that in Virgo's reading as well, of like, you know, lost souls, people who also feel like they don't fit in, or, you know, that they're the ugly ducklings. It's like, no, you're teaching them, come to me, I'll teach you that you're actually a swan. You just don't know how to use that music that you've got in you. So very beautiful start to your reading. Tell me about abundance for Libra, please. Abundance for Libra. I need to drink more coffee. I swear, like, I don't know. Coffee definitely helps my brain to function, so. Abundance for Libra. Yeah, it's I don't know why it's coming through as, I'm just putting music aside a second. I don't know why it's coming through as Nine of Cups energy. It's the Nine of Wands. The Nine of Fire is the Nine of Wands. So the Nine of Wands talks about persevering through things that are very difficult. It's it talks of the wounded warrior, somebody who's been on a long journey. They've fought a lot of battles, you know, they've fallen many times on the battlefield, but they've picked themselves up by their pigtails, they've dusted themselves off, and they've kept going, right? There's a perseverance energy to the Nine of Wands. It's one of the most challenging cards because it indicates that you're still in it, you're still in this wounded warrior journey, you still haven't reached the finish line of whatever it is that you're going through. So it can talk about huge you know, huge parts of your life that last for several years. You could talk about a lifetime as well, like something that you, some kind of lesson or something that you're, a skill that you're working on, a life skill, right, that you're working on continuously for your whole life. So the Nine of Fire is an ongoing energy. There's no real start or end to it when this card comes out, unless it's joined by the Ten of Wands, which says you can put that down now. So what I want to say, because this is a very beautiful image of this card, she's holding on to these stars, right? So the reason why you, I want to say, or this person in this card can keep going through the dark times, through the difficult periods, through those moments where you get knocked down, you know, the reason why you keep getting back up and persevering is a huge life skill. I think if you can teach anything to children, you teach them how to persevere, because if you teach a child perseverance, they can get through anything. They can cope with anything life throws at them, because they just know, I just have to keep putting one step in front of the other. I just keep having to push forward, move forward. I just have to keep my eyes on the prize. I just have to get up. I just have to get up, brush my teeth, and do what needs to be done, right? There's a huge strength in that, and it's seen as a bad thing, right? It's seen as a bad thing because you're going through something difficult, but that is part of the lesson. It's making you stronger. So what the skill that this person has used, the skill that this person has developed in order to cope, in order to persevere, in order to keep going indefinitely, right, is holding on to their hope, their dreams, their wishes, their rose-tinted glasses. And that's why it's so important to keep those rose-tinted glasses on and keep those hopes alive, because the second you lose hope is the second that you give up and you don't get back up. So hope is a dangerous thing for a woman to have, but I have it. And, you know, Libra, you're not giving up your hope. You're not giving up on your dreams. You're not giving on your hopes. You're not giving up on your hopes, dreams, and wishes. You know, you still haven't found what you're looking for, but you know it's out there, and you're going to keep looking. You know, I've climbed every mountain, I've swum every sea, only to be with you. So you're just so strong, Libra. I love coming through readings, and I feel like, because I'm a Libra myself, and I always feel like I'm like patting myself on the back and being like, Libra, you're awesome. And obviously we have our moments. You know, sometimes we go Queen of Swords in reverse when, you know, somebody mistreats the horse and we have to go over and, you know, shout at them and really go for the gullet. You know, we have those moments where we go full Karen, but it's that's a tool in our toolbox too, right? There's a reason for that. There's a reason why we have those sharp tongue moments, because it has to be done. It's effective. So just Libra energy is just so strong, and it's because you've had a tough time of it. It's because you know, they're telling me you're the donkey that keeps getting kicked. But everybody loves the little donkey. Like, I don't know, the little donkey song, little donkey on the dusty road. I remember being a kid and being like, having so much sympathy for that donkey and crying when we used to sing that song in assembly, because I was like, the poor donkey, give that donkey a carrot, right? It's like the universe is going to give you a carrot, right? But I feel like it's almost like a lottery win energy of, I think if you've had quite a lot of bad luck, if you've, again, I really strongly advise you to go and watch Awakening to Spirits reading, because what I'm getting is quite similar, and I'm not copying. As I say, I already did that kind of Leo reading, so I was already starting to pick up on this thread. But you know, I get this a lot when, you know, multiple readers will all get the same message at the same time, and I'm like, it's confirmed what I'm glad they said that, because it's confirmed what I was getting. So yeah, this kind of, you've been kicked for a long time and you've persevered and you've developed coping mechanisms, and it may be a coping mechanism that other people criticize you for, but do you know what, if it works for you, then it works for you and it's nobody else's business. So it's, you know, fantasizing or putting a rose tinted glasses on or having a romanticized view of your own experience is fine, because that's, it works for you. And I definitely have those moments, excuse me, I mean, I do this myself, I can relate to it so strongly, but I've definitely had those moments where I've got very grounded, and I've taken off the rose tinted glasses and I've seen things very clearly for what they are. You know, moving into that Queen of Swords energy, you know, I can see clearly now the rain has gone. It's almost like sometimes you see things very clearly for exactly what they are, and it comes in with this, for me, it comes in with this very cold but very determined inner strength energy, where it's like, this is the situation, how, like, what do I do, like, how do I deal with this? And it's coming from, again, this inner strength, this very, very strong core that you have because of this nine of wands energy, but it's also coming through as the 9 of cups, which is relying on yourself. It's like, if I can't rely on anyone else, if everybody else has constantly failed me, I'm going to rely on myself. Did you have, are you getting a lot of Lana Del Rey? Did you have the song, it came through as like advice or something for one of the signs last week. It was like, if you hold me without hurting me, you'll be the first who ever did. It can be very difficult for somebody who's had a wounded warrior life, you know, who's had a very tough life, who's had to really scramble to keep going, again and again and again. It makes me think of that TV show Made, where every time something goes right for her, something goes horribly wrong. It's like every time she gets on her feet, the universe throws her another curveball, and it's almost like these waves keep rolling in and knocking her down, but she keeps picking herself up and she keeps going. I love that. Loved her determination, and that's what you've got, Libra. And she has success in the end, and you're going to have success in the end. But it's yeah, it's very independent. It's seeing yourself as completely independent from the rest of the world and what's going on around you and the behavior of others. And this energy, I can depend on myself, right? But I think, like I say, when you've been in that wounded warrior energy for a long time, it does chip away at your trust of others. And you're coming in with this kind of, I'm seeing this as well, there's definitely this pink flower energy. It's coming in with this energy of like, again, hope is a dangerous thing for a woman like me to have, but I have it. And I still haven't found what I'm looking for, but it's out there. It's like, you're not giving up on this dream, because the dream's what keeps you going. The second you give up on the dream is the second you give up completely. So you know how important that dream, that imagination is to you, that hope is to you. And it's like, I'm getting, I always say about the reason why the 9 of Wands is one of my favourite cards, even though it's such a difficult card, is because it's so character forming. It leads you into Emperor or Empress energy. You can't be an Emperor or an Empress unless you've fought some battles. You know, you haven't got that experience to be the Emperor or Empress if you haven't had the hard times. So you're going to be a true Emperor or a true Empress, Libra. because of your experiences, and because I want to say that this is a guiding light to others as well. You know, showing other people how to persevere, how to hold on to your hopes and dreams, how to rely on yourself, how to not give up. That's a leadership quality, and that's very inspiring to others. So there is something coming for you, Libra, and it is slow, right? It is demanding a lot of patience, a lot of persistence from you, but that's part of the story of making you so strong. Again, like that character in that TV show Made, you know, she was such a strong character because, and you can see that strength forming throughout the show. And there are definitely dark moments for her. There's this moment where she gives up hope, and she's in the, you know, visually she's in the bottom of this pit. And I think you've had those moments. I think you've had those moments of like, I can't do it anymore, I give up. But then you don't give up, right? You have, you know, you have those moments, but then that glimmer of hope comes back, and you get back, you know, you get back into it stronger, right? So yeah, the difficulty is going to be learning to trust others when you've been let down so much. But you hope, and you have that hope, and you have that ability to not allow those stars to get jaded, and not to burn out, and not to... Those stars symbolizing hope are not dying for you. For you, they are still glowing. You know, you're ready. You know that Diamond Heart song, it's like you're ready to walk into the fire again. You're ready to go back into battle, because you've got something worth fighting for. You've got a belief in people, in the basic goodness of people. You're willing to place your trust in others again, even though it's difficult for you. But I think you can do that because it's like when people have let you down and you've got back up again, it's taught you that you can get back up again. So it's like, well, I can risk giving this person my heart. I can risk taking this chance. I can risk doing something and it failing, because I know that I can start again. I know that I've got that pulling myself up by my pippins. I was calling them pippins, pippin stocks. I don't know if a pippin stock is a thing. Pulling yourself up by your pigtails, dusting yourself off, and doing it again, because you know it's out there somewhere, and sometimes it's misplaced. But I really like your lip reading, Libra. Really, really like it. You've got something really special, and it's just the strength is coming from that imagination, that hope, that romanticized belief in something better than the mundane. So tell me about the music. You've got the music in you. The stars are part of your music. I want to say King of Fire there on the underline as well. It's almost like the stars behind his head, right? The belief in love. So this could be you. It could be what you're hoping for, right? Somebody who's passionate, somebody who's warm and loving, and it's like the belief that either there's somebody's out there that you can give your heart to, or yeah, the belief that somebody's out there who you can give your heart to. So you've got the music in you, and there's the heart, right? This is the thing that you're both holding. Either this is you, don't worry about gender too much, or this is that person that's out there, or your belief that the person's out there. You see the fire, the heat, the warmth, I'm getting compassion, which isn't normally a fire thing, but it's like and it's coming through as protective as well, especially with it being a king. So I just watched a little bit of Nicholas Ashbow's reading for Libra. And he was saying he always gets some kind of image, some kind of motif, normally from nature, that he kind of runs with to get his messages from. And I definitely recommend you go and watch him. He's lovely, lovely. I think he's got strong Libra in his chart as well. Lovely character. But he said Libra's animal for this month was the reindeer. And he was talking about the male reindeers lose their antlers at a certain point in the month, and the female reindeers keep their antlers throughout the whole of winter, because female reindeers have antlers too. Apparently he was saying that female reindeers are actually probably what pulls Santa's sleigh, because the males wouldn't have had antlers at that time. So yeah, it's just interesting. This Queen of Earth should come out with these antlers. So I want to say that this is you doing the things that need to be done. This is you being grounded, earthy, that kind of earth mother energy. Libra, you can be so nurturing. You've got so much love to give. So doing the things that need to be done, being part of the mundane world, right? Being sensible, being focused, just getting the job done, right? Doing what needs to be done. But it's like, even while, I want to say it's almost like this is the darkness for you, right? It's just like the boredom or the routine or the like dreariness of doing that pentacle stuff, right? It's like being a mother or, you know, a father, however it resonates, because you love your children, you want them to be safe and happy and nurtured, but at the same time there's no magic in it. So how do you make it magical? They're showing me Mary Poppins now, which is interesting. So the fire is the hope, right? This is the dream, the wish, the hope. Like holding on to that. It could be like playing music. I cannot, again, like Mars Sagittarius, which is about how you take action, how you get stuff done, and I've got a Gemini moon, and those placements mean that I can be very, very easily bored, and I just, it's very hard for me to do household chores because it's just so boring. It's like torture. So I have to have something, like I listen to podcasts or I have music on, and it takes me ages, because if I'm washing the pots, I can't just wash the pots. I'm dancing and I'm singing and I'm, you know, it's like that kind of Mary Poppins energy of making the boring fun. They're showing me like a teaching strategy to get kids to tidy up. I think when my children were young, they had a tidy up song. So when the tidy up song played, it's like the children had to tidy up. So there's something in that as well, with the Three of Air, because you see how they're both moving forwards. You know, they're both pointing forwards. This is you moving forwards, doing what needs to be done, doing the practical things, pushing through heartbreak, which is connected to this Nine of Wands energy, Nine of Fire energy, because the Three of Air is the Three of Swords. It's heartbreak. It's they're giving me a reference again. The music is important to me. They're giving me the reference. It's from that song about a boy, the film about a boy. I can't remember the line before it, but it's like, till it eats the heart from your soul, keeps down the sound of your silent sigh. Silent sigh then. Silent sigh. Silent. What is it? Keeps the... It's just like doing something until it's just this numbing, this soul destroying, mundane energy that you're just, it's like you're just walking around with it, almost like a zombie. They're showing me a zombie. It's like you're walking around, like doing what needs to be done, doing the practical things, feeling like a husk, feeling hollow. And it's like, if it wasn't for this fire, this Ace of Wands, this hope, it's like that's the only thing driving you forward. It's like your battery pack, right? You can't let that fire go out. You've got to hold on to that music in you. All right, let's keep going. King of Cups. Yeah, your hope is, it's like your hope is like true love, or your hope is finding it. Right, for some of you it's you. It's not really about anyone else at all. It's finding your own emotional control, your own emotional well to draw from, your own, you know, your own unconditional love for yourself. The King of Cups is unconditional love, very, very deep unconditional love. For others of you, this is representing a love interest. It could be a specific person for you, hoping for that specific person, or you're just hoping for you have like an archetype. You know what you want, right? You know the general energy of what you want, right? And it's like you need that. It's almost like a father figure, right? Loving, warm, compassionate, open, generous, heartfelt, wears the heart on the sleeve, you know, doesn't have to, you know, the kings, they hold back as well. It's like they don't have to show off. They don't have to rant and rave. They don't have to prove themselves. They've already proved themselves. They've been wounded warriors too, right? It's just love and passion. It's like, you know what you want from life. You know what you want from a partner, perhaps. You know what you want to find in yourself. And I think you've got it. I think you've got it in yourself. But this is the hope. It's like unconditional love is what's keeping you going. Again, some of you may have found this. Some of you may have this unconditionally loving partner. Some of you may be a father. You have unconditional love for your children, and that's what keeps you going forward. I'm going to read the King of Cups. It's going to be a long reading again, Libra. You always get long readings. Grand Master of Emotions. Being a king, I had to find balance between my intellect and my feelings. The point was not to repress emotions, it was to master them, with kindness and compassion. My heart is alive, I feel its golden arteries sending me messages, and I know how and when to hear them. Whenever strong feelings come to me, I explore them lucidly, but I never let them run over me. I can counsel my subjects because I understand the mechanisms of human souls. This emotional stability, so this could very well be you, right? I said that you could teach in others. This emotional stability makes my strength. It is also the only way to bring peace inside and around me. The time has come for you to do exactly the same and to become the master of your own emotions. This is my will, so let it be. Controlled emotions, compassion, loyalty, maturity, and diplomacy. Could definitely be you. Diplomatic as well, Libra, that's very you. I had something a while back, I can't remember if it came through for one of your readings, I think it may have done, but it was The Star, right? It was that that film, had Claire Danes in it, I want to say, Michelle Pfeiffer, Stardust. And Claire Danes' character, she is literally a star on earth, and she can shine it, right? She can shine that light outwards, especially when she's happy. Let me just check if that's my door, sorry. This sexy Amazon delivery guy there, delivering something for my neighbour, but he was like, I don't know, he had an accent, he was like, thank you very much. I was like, thank you, Brigo. Hope you can't hear me. So what was I saying? So that could definitely be you, right? Looking for love, maybe. I mean, I'm not, but I'm not going to say, I'm going to enjoy if a nice person comes to my door. I'm not going to not look at them. Why am I the way I am? I don't know. So the King of Cups then, which could very well be you, right? It's like, it came through in your other reading, it was like having that love to share, having that compassion, wanting to love people, not necessarily in a romantic sexual way. It could be like children, or friends, family. It's like wanting to share your big heart with other people and wanting to shine that light, right? Wanting to let your star energy, your star child energy maybe like shine. I really like it. It is coming through a little bit Pied Piper, right? Guiding others through the dark moments, through the difficult periods of your life. You want people to know there's hope. It's really funnily balanced, like on my wrist. The Knight of Pentacles. Why do I feel like this is somebody being drawn towards you? They're carrying a scythe. This Knight of Pentacles is carrying a scythe. It's like telling me slow march of time. The Knight of Pentacles is very curious to me at the moment. Black Swan. Virgo and double Virgo energy, the Knight of Pentacles and the Seven of Pentacles, both Virgo for me. Both carry this meaning of some kind of time, right? The Knight of Pentacles is the slowest moving knight. Normally they're bringing something to you. Normally they're bringing you some kind of a pentacle, right? I've got hello magpies. One magpie seen by two. That's the wrong one. One magpie. What? One for sorrow, two for joy. There's two magpies on the roof across from me. Two for joy, right? magpies are thieves too, right? But they have that balance of the black and white. I'm just trying to think of the symbolism of why I'm seeing 2 magpies. The balance of the black and white. So this energy coming towards you, slow moving, it has something to give you. 7 of Pentacles is, I was talking about the swan, right? The ugly duckling, and the swan. The 7 of Pentacles is an energy of something that takes a long time, right? Normally it depicts somebody waiting by a plant that they've planted for the plant to grow fruit. So it's like something about harvest time. It is harvest time. It is like, you know, we've just had like the harvest festival here. They're having Thanksgiving in America. It is that time of the year, autumn, when, you know, you're reaping what you've sown. Just worried about the language of like reaping. It's like it could be soul retrieval, something like that. It could have this energy of like, I'm getting like collection as well. It could have this energy of being aware that you have a limited time on Earth. You know, the moment we're born, we're dying. So it's an awareness of yourself aging. It's an awareness that you're not going to live forever. With that 3 of air, there's something about how to push through heartache, how to push through endings, how to push through things not working out, right? You know, you're meant to collect on your investments, but what happens when those investments don't pay out? What happens in wherever you've invested your time? You know, what happens when you don't get anything back from that? So again, it could be you've invested into a relationship, you've invested into a work situation, and you're not getting a return on that. So do you keep throwing money down the well, or do you go out and, you know, you've still not found what you're looking for? So I do think that there is some kind of ending approaching you. I think you're aware of this. I think that you are prepared to push through some sort of dark period, some kind of something that didn't work out, and you're pushing through with that hope, right, with that fire alive, pushing through the heartache, keeping on going. It's almost like this energy is coming towards you. You've got to push through it. It's how it's coming through. Let's read those cards. It does give, you know, the film Black Swan as well. It kind of has that it's inspired by that clearly, but because I was already picking up on like the swans and the ugly duckling, right? It's like maybe this is another ugly duckling. So it's like you're calling people to you. You're calling in the other quirky characters, the other people who don't fit in, the other ugly ducklings, and you're teaching them that the swans. You know, there's this. I was talking about the magpie as well here, with this swan that's like black, but it's got white wings. It always strikes me that, you know, when you see animals who have been caught up in some kind of like oil spill or something, you know, they have that tar on them, and it always strikes me, it's like she's clawing away at the tar. She's taking off the, you know, the black coating, and it's like once you remove the black coating, you're able to fly. It's like this swan's the only one that can fly because it's getting rid of the, it's cleaned its feathers enough that it can fly again. Something about the red shoe as well. I picked up on the red shoe. in another reading. I don't think it was a Libra reading, but it was something to do with like wearing the practical shoe, wearing the like the brown loafer, or wearing the red like velvet high heel. The truth is my flag. Rigorous methods are my tools to succeed. I know what I must do, and I do it no matter what. Is this your case too? I do hope so. When a task is to be accomplished, then accomplished it must be, and in the most perfect way possible, even if it requires hard work and total commitment. I expect you to be reliable, trustworthy, perseverant, which you are, and meticulous, which my Gemini moon is not. Do not complain that the mission is too exhausting. I don't want to hear that a word of this kind. You've chosen me, so now my message to you is stick to your goal, which you are because you have the hope, right? You have the star pulling you through. And with truth and honour, you will reach it victoriously. No fancy, ever. Everything must be carefully planned. Now let's ride with our banner floating proudly in the air. Seeking truth and harmony, sense of responsibility, perfectionism and determination. So I feel like this is another energy that you're pushing through. It's like you're questioning it. It's like, it's almost like this energy is stood in your pathway. It's like somebody that you need to get past. And they're presenting you with some kind of challenge, right? It's like you have to persevere. And you've got the perseverance, but their demands for perfectionism, I think, are troubling to you because nothing is perfect. There's no such thing as perfect. There isn't. And, everything is black and white. And you see the black and white because you're the Queen of Swords. So how do you make this other person understand that there's no such thing as perfection? And, actually the imperfections are part of the perfection. So how Pippi Longstockings was proud of her freckles. It's like, I feel like you're dealing with somebody else who has a skewed view of what makes something perfect, where actually you're more of the mindset of, like with the Japanese pottery where it gets broken and it gets repaired with gold. Remember he said he's something about this gold, right? It's like his arm's been repaired by this gold, which you're holding. The unconditional love. And the thing about right, okay, I've got it. The thing about unconditional love is that it's unconditional. The unconditional love doesn't come with conditions. Unconditional love isn't, if you're not perfect, I'm not going to love you anymore. Unconditional love isn't, you've got freckles, not good enough for me. Unconditional love is, and I don't think, my son's got freckles and they're freaking adorable. There's nothing wrong with freckles. So it's just the example I was given. So it's like, it's not I love you despite it's not like I love you because you're perfect. That's not unconditional love. It's not I love you even though you're flawed. That's not unconditional love. Unconditional love is I love you and your flaws. I love you for exactly who you are, like warts and all, good side and bad side. And that's something that this person is not quite getting yet, right? I feel there's an energy here where it's like, it's almost like a gatekeeper. It's almost like, is your love really unconditional, right? Is your, because that's what's going to pull you through. The unconditional love, the star, or whatever it is for you, right? The hope, the dream that this is possible, that this is real. The dream that unconditional love is real is what's pushing you through. It's what's keeping you going. It's what is causing you to persevere. That's your strength. This person wanting perfection is their imperfection. Can you love that about them? Can you love this person's imperfections and show them that unconditional love is real? 7 of Pentacles. Same energy. You could definitely be dealing with a Virgo or somebody with strong Virgo placement. Back to Swan Lake. So it's like you're going back to join the swans, right? I've worked hard in my body and flesh to get where I am today. It took time and I knew it would, but it bore fruit. Yes, it did. Look at my red ballet shoe. Look at it. Look at my tiara. I am acclaimed on the world stage. Hard working pays off. It always does. Remember that. If you've worked hard on something, reward will come. Be sure of that. It's almost like this is reassuring you. This energy is reassuring you. Stay focused, concentrated, keep a long-term view. Right now I'm taking a break, but I'm back at my Swan Lake among my own people. But the break won't last long. Soon hard work will start again and I won't stop until my tiara becomes a crown. hard work, patience, long-term view, rewards to come, focus and concentration. So is this a lesson that you're learning? Is this the universe teaching you a lesson? Again, with my Gemini moon and my Sagittarius Mars is like, I want it now, and combined it's like squirrel. So it's hard for me to stick to a task. I'm one of these people, like, I start a task, I'll leave it halfway through because I'm distracted by a different hobby. It's like, you know, like I like the new, I like the novelty, and I have a lot of enthusiasm at the start, but then it kind of like burns out and it becomes boring and mundane. I'm not very good at the whole sustainer thing. So I have to have my goal, right? I have to have my fixed, I have to really want something to be able to persevere to completion. So I wrote a book, I did my degree, and there were definitely stages of my degree where I wanted to give up, where it was too much, where I was overwhelmed, where I was exhausted. And at the time when I was doing my degree, I had 2 very young children, a baby and a toddler, and I was working part-time as well. So, you know, there was a lot that I was coping with there. But I persevered and I did it because I was like, I want that degree, I want that. There's that goal, there's that benchmark that I've set for myself. And with that Sagittarius Mars, it's like firing an arrow at a bullseye. It's when you're focused on something, when you've made your mind up. I don't know why I'm talking to you like you're Sagittarius. Maybe there's a Sagittarius cross watcher, or someone with strong Sag placements. But it's like when you Libra does it as well. Libra, you're very indecisive, you're very on the fence. It takes you a long time to make a decision. But when you've made a decision, that decision's final. It's like you become more Taurus. Again, like Libra and Taurus share this rule of Venus. And Taurus is like very long-term goal orientated. So it's like, you are that too, Libra. You have that shared energy, but for you, you want to be certain. It's like, for you, Libra, it's like, I haven't got any problem with commitment, but if I'm going to commit to something, I have to be sure it's right. It's like, I have to have a guarantee, right? I don't want to put a lot of time and work into something if it turns out to be a waste of my time. So for you, it's like, you've got that determination, you've got that perseverance to complete something, but it has to make sense to you, and you have to have put a lot of thought into it, and you have to be sure. And once you're sure, you're very laser focused. So just a little bit more and then I think we'll wrap up. Tell me more about the Nine of Fire and the King of Cups for Libra. The Chariot, yeah. So just, it feels very, very driven. It just feels like the laser focused. And again, this thing about the black and the white, right? Understanding that perfection includes imperfection. To be perfect, to be whole, to be complete, you have to be imperfect. There's no such thing as perfection. If somebody was born with a silver spoon in the mouth, are they really going to make a good emperor? No, because they don't have the wounded warrior experience, right? They haven't got that strength and perseverance. It's like, as soon as something goes wrong, they're going to quit and they're going to run away. So it's not a true emperor. The true emperors are the ones that, or empress, are the ones that have really learned the lessons through the tough times. They've really persevered, right? That's what makes someone really strong, in my opinion. So the Emperor drives the Chariot. I just feel like it's like focused determination, pulling different parts of yourself together in order to move forward, harnessing, taking control of your life, harnessing the situation. So again, it's this energy of maybe you're disappointed in people or a situation, maybe people have let you down. So it's like, well, I have to take control of this situation now. I have to step up. I have to take the lead here, because no one else is going to do it. Everyone else is running away because it's too hard. You've got the Diamond Heart. Tell me about this energy here. This person's jaded. This person's it's like this person's given up on the dream. This person, when they, again, heading towards this, hang on, that might be my neighbour getting the parcel. Yeah, this person's jaded. This person's been disappointed a few too many times, and they're heartbroken. But there's They, I think, are a little bit more guarded. They've got the walls up a bit more because they've been hurt so much. You know, they're really feeling that ugly duckling energy right now. They're really feeling very, very rejected. And the Four of Cups is giving up, missing out on opportunities because they've perhaps the very idealistic, especially for Virgo. Virgo's very idealistic, right? They you know, they have people up on pedestals, but pedestals can fall. And one too many pedestals have fallen. So if this person expects you to be perfect, they're going to be disappointed, but that's on them. You know, that's not your problem. If that person has standards that are impossibly high, you know, that's them. They're building those pedestals. That's their problem. I think this person has trouble loving themselves. I think they're very, very aware of their own imperfections. I think there's something about she's tearing at her own skin. There's a self-hatred to this person because, and the self-hatred I think is born from heartache. It's born from rejection. It's born from being hurt one too many times and blaming themselves for it. Again, with that Virgo martyr energy. Hating themselves because they also, those high ideals, they don't only hold other people accountable to those pedestals, they also have a very, very high pedestal for themselves, right? They have a view of themselves. Again, going back to the rose tinted glasses kind of thing, is they have a view of who they want to be, and anything less than that, they find it difficult to accept themselves, to love themselves, right? They find it very difficult, very Virgo energy, very difficult to accept anything less than perfection. So it doesn't just apply to their expectations of you, it's their expectations of themselves as well. And I think you're coming in with that unconditional love energy, Libra, of the lotus flower, right? Powerful, powerful force. You've got the light. You're the star that shines. You love the freckles, you know? So I think you shouldn't accept anything less than somebody who loves you unconditionally in return. If you are capable of loving somebody unconditionally, they should love you, freckles and all. So you may, I don't know if you have to push through this person. I don't know if you're here to teach this person a lesson about, but I feel like you're there with the love. You're there with the offering the cup, but it's like the cup's cracked. They're going, the cup's cracked. I can see you've repaired it with gold, but it, you know, I don't want anything less than a perfect cup. And you're like, but this cup is perfect. You know, look at how beautiful the gold is that I've repaired this cup with. You know, this cup is a one-off. This cup is a work of art. This cup is completely unique. Like, if this cup is entirely perfect, going back to the Japanese pottery, right? Repairing the pottery of gold. So you see things in a very different way. And I don't know if you can change this person's mind. It's part of who they are. All you can do is love this person unconditionally, and you know that other person, they may never learn to love themselves unconditionally, but at least you're showing them what unconditional love is. I do think you've been guided to this person to teach you each other lessons. There's reflection here. Could be definitely soulmate energy. And if you're familiar with twin flame ideas, it is that kind of energy of the universe guiding two people together for whatever reason, right? You don't have to define the relationship, but the universe guiding two people together to press each other's buttons, to reflect their pain, their insecurities, their vulnerabilities back at each other, to handle those things in different ways and to learn from each other, to make each other stronger, right? That's the Lover's card. But the Lover's card is also just with the reflection. That's kind of what that one means to me. But there's also this thing about the Lover's card is divinely guided. The Lover's card is bringing somebody into your life to help you learn about love, and sometimes it's learning to love yourself, and sometimes it's learning how to make choices based on what your heart is saying. The Six of Swords is an energy of moving forward. So you've got this kind of like double harnessing energy. It's almost the Chariot card for me. There could be something to do with cars, or the Six of Swords can be travel over water, so boats and planes. So there could be some kind of vehicle involved here with the Chariot and the Six of Swords. That's like double vehicle energy, double travel energy. So there could be, you could be traveling to see somebody. Or it's an energy of moving on, moving to calmer waters, moving towards something that is divinely guided, moving towards somebody who's a soulmate. But then it ends with this heartbreak energy. But I feel like both of you kind of being in that Three of Swords energy, I'm going to be honest, Libra, it's like the whale, this love energy, this great force that's coming up within you, this welling up energy of like, I just have to love, I have to pour this love out onto someone, right? I have to love unconditionally. It's part of my nature. Libra's mission on earth is to love and be loved in return. So, but it's almost like this whale comes up and then it's marooned. It can't live there, right? So there's grief. It's like the whale finally is liberated, but immediately it's like it can't live on land. You see this, one of these live in water and one of these live on land. It's like it can't live in that environment. It's almost an energy of like two people who can't be together, right? Two people who can't be together, but they're pushing through the heartbreak. Tell me. Temperance, Seven of Cups, Ace of Cups, and Ten of Cups. No, it's got a happy ending, Libra. This energy of not being able to, it's like not being able to live in each other's environment, not being able to sustain life in a different landscape. It's teaching you temperance, and it's going back to this lotus flower energy. It's teaching you patience. I feel like it's teaching both of you patience. It's teaching both of you how to alchemize this energy, right? King of, it could be same sex, doesn't have to be. How to alchemize this energy, the King of Cups and the King of Fire. The Temperance card is normally holding a cup of water and a cup of fire, and they're alchemizing it, right? They're turning it into something new. And what's being created by this alchemical process is this unconditional love energy. It's like this hot, fiery, passionate love, right? This the kind of love that poets write about, the kind of love that you know, exists in fairy tales. That kind of like just passionate love. But it's, with it being kings, it's this holding it back, waiting till the time is right, being patient, knowing that if you let that love free too soon, the conditions aren't right. It's something to do with the conditions balancing on both sides. It's like you know, when you buy a fish, and the fish has come from the fish shop, it's been in a fish tank, it's used to a certain type of water. So you bring it home and you have to put the fish in the bag. This is, my dad used to keep fish when I was little, this is why I have this knowledge. So you have to put the fish in the bag in the water, and wait for the temperature of the water to equalize, right? So the temperature of the bag of water warms up, and you also have to check the acidity of the water with those little alkaline strips. So you have to make sure that it's like a similar acidity. So the water has to, you either have to make the water in the tank match the water in the bag, or the water in the bag, like you have to kind of introduce it slowly. So there is something to do with this like slow introduction, or this slow movement into the different environment. There's an acclimatization process. There's an acclimatization process. It's like you can't come out of the water too quickly because you'll be gasping for air. So then the Temperance comes into the Seven of Cups, which is with that moon on there as well. There's some kind of confusion about choices, confusion about options, confusion about I don't quite know which path to take here. I don't quite know how to navigate this situation. So you do have this walking forward one step at a time energy, but then finally you do have the Ace of Cups. There's this energy of becoming, again with this acclimatization, right? The temperature changing. It's like she's been frozen, or like here it's like she's a statue, but the light is warming her up. It's like this warming up energy. Like, I don't know if it's like you and another person and you warm up to each other. There's two aces here as well. You've got the Ace of Cups and the Ace of Fire. What did I say about Temperance, right? It's like it's two different energies, and I want to say it's two different people. The Ace of Cups the King of Cups offers the Ace of Cups. The King of Fire offers the Ace of Fire. So it's like this person's very hot, and I want to say that you're kind of icy, Libra, because you're the Queen of Swords, right? So it's like this person heats you up, but you cool them down. There's also this, you know, with like the magpies as well, and there's like this black and white energy to this reading where it's like you balance each other. I want to say I am leaning towards twin flames here, or it's like a flame in a cup. I don't know, twin flamey cups, twin temperance magician, lotus flower energy. I don't know what you call this. Yeah, but you're very, very different. You're kind of like chalk and cheese. So it's like you don't want to go in with this this forceful love for cups energy, right? This kind of like, let me love you, because it's going to frighten them. They're going to be like, ah, right? It's going to end badly. But at the same time, maybe they're particularly sexual. Maybe they're very magnetic and charismatic, and like this kind of Lothario energy of like, it's funny that I said Lothario. It's very, very passionate, but that could frighten you, right? Because you're coming with different things to offer. So the mixing, the alchemy, the acclimatization of the Temperance, the time, it's like getting to know each other over a long period of time. Again, Seven of Pentacles and the Knight of Pentacles, this is very, very slow movement. It's like slow and steady wins the race. So I want to say your advice, if this is resonating for you, slow and steady, take it slow, like so slowly, right? And that, when you warm up, when that Ace of Cups is finally taken, right? When these offers are accepted, see, it's balanced. It's balanced, perfectly balanced. And then you get the Ten of Cups, which is shared happiness shared with other people, the happily ever after. That you get the happily ever after, Libra, because you have high standards. You held on to the hope for it. Right? It's just maybe coming in a package that you're unfamiliar with, right? It's coming in an unexpected way, because you wanted the knight in shining armor, you wanted the cups, and you got the fiery knight, and maybe it took you by surprise, right? But I think it just feels like two completely different energies that create the magpie. They create the black and white, the yin yang, and it's the best kind, right? It's not just love, it's not just romance, it's not just sex, it's steam. They're giving me steam do by E17, which is such a cheesy song, but it made me laugh. It's like you're creating something new, right? You're alchemizing, you're creating this, and what you're creating is this very powerful love energy that I was picking up on 2 weeks ago with that Black Dragon reading. Like, you're creating the lotus flower, you're creating this, it's like something brand new, something that's never been done before, something that's that everybody wants but people don't think is real. What a fantastic reading. Libra, did not expect that, because I came into the reading and I came into your energy and it was like disappointed. It was like the princess is in another castle, so I guess I'm going to get my backpack on and go looking kind of energy. And then it's ended up with this. You've ended up with the happily ever after. That's what you've ended up with. Libra, tell me about the happily ever after. Where is Libra heading? That might be too many, but I'm going to take the top one. And what a fantastic thing it is. Told you, something brand new, right? Awakening. energetic upgrades, a new way of being, and integration. You've also got the Great Gathering. It's all coming together. Intuitive hits, Soul Tribe, which I said at the beginning, and Lemuria, creating heaven on earth. It's happening. The mirror, no way. Where's it gone? Where's the mirror gone? Who or what is triggering you? It's triggering you because it's bringing something out of you. It's creating something new. It's part of the alchemization. It's fine. It's going to be fine. It's going to be great. Push through the Three of Swords. Don't worry about the Three of Swords. Ignore it, right? It's just something you've got to get through. It's like it's not even the important thing here. In your last reading as well, you had that thing about pushing through the darkness, pushing through the difficult periods, pushing through the black moments, right, to get to the sun. Again, it's the same energy. You've got to push through. It's almost like this is some sort of test. It's some sort of test of keep on going, or it's a warning not to move too fast. It's like, this person's right. It's like, go slow. Be kings. Hold back. Can't believe you've got awakening. That is so cool. I can't even find it. I can't even find it. Where is it? Do you see it? I feel like that's that Seven of Pentacles, Seven of Cups moment. It's like, do you see it? Where is it? Where is it? I was told it was going to be here. Where is it? Energetic upgrades, a new way of being, integration. Integration, that's a good way. Alchemation, integration. You are going through a period of awakening. Things are changing within you and at many levels. You are starting to remember ancient truths. See, starting to remember, that was right at the start of the reading. You are starting to remember ancient truths and discovering more and more about who you are and why you incarnated. Why are you here, right? That was the big question. You may find that you are to love and be loved. I already had the answer. I got that answer when I was about 12 and I was doing those daft magazines, like Libra's destiny is to love and be loved. You may find that you are experiencing past life flashbacks, seeing the invisible thread. No way. 2 readings back, Libra, go and check it out. Seeing the invisible thread that is woven through all of life, or even feeling Kundalini Shakti rise through your body from the base of your spine. If you don't know what Kundalini is and you're not into like the yoga-y tantric stuff, definitely recommend that. Go and check that out. You won't regret it. Keep going. Persevere through the weird and get to the good, right? The most important thing for this time is not to overthink it and to stay grounded. Share your experiences with like soul people. Like soul people. What did I say? While you consciously integrate them, journal and pay attention to your dreams. You are remembering and your soul gifts are emerging. During this time of transition and awakening, you may be called to devote yourself to being of service. There are ideas, truths, concepts, books, and creations waiting to be birthed into this world. Stay open to receiving them. Pulling this card may be a sign that you are here to birth one of these creations into the world, or perhaps you are being called to make a shift in your life in order to be of service. Don't think too much about it. Instead, repeat the following. Work your light activation. I surrender to my awakening. I allow the Shakti energy to rise from the base of my spine. I open myself up to the universe, using me in a way that delights my mind, body, and spirit. Use me, universe. make me your. Yeah, okay. This reading got horny, so I'm gonna leave that there. Good luck, Libra. Enjoy your life. Enjoy your future life. I'm going to go. I'm going to drink my coffee and look forward to whatever the universe is bringing towards me, even if it's a bit scary sometimes. All right, take care. I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye. An hour and a half. I'm so sorry, Libra. Bye, Libra.